snap it.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
We're the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
7 best exercises to cure lumbar stenosis pain. We just did a video on this recently, but we didn't get into the exercises very quickly, and I think people probably got annoyed with us.
Right, so we're going to skip over a lot of the details and the pathology and get to the exercises.
But before we do that, we do have to do this part. Okay. If you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. And go over to Facebook and like us, because Brad and I, as children, we're not liked. It's sad, but we're turning things around.
Right, now we're happy again.
Right, so lumbar stenosis pain. What is that pain, Brad?
It's typically pain in the low back, down the legs, can be numbness, tingling. One leg, it could be both legs, and sometimes, and it's almost always worse with standing for a prolonged period of time and walking longer distances. If you bend forward, it usually feels a little bit better, like with a walker or a shopping cart.
Better with sitting, too,
right.
Obviously.
So if you got these symptoms, you've been diagnosed, these are the exercises you want to do.
All right, let's start off.
The first thing, and this is a simple, easy one, is you can do this in bed, right out of bed in the morning before you get up, is just bring. So you can just start out with one knee to your chest and do a stretch that way. You know, you're just going to hold it for a few seconds. And if that's going fine, you can jump right into both knees to your chest, because that really stretches that low back in the direction it needs to go. We need to flex it. And I would do that 10 times, holding it for about 3 to 5 seconds each.
Kind of pressure on, pressure off, too, can work. But this one is a good standard exercise for people with spinal stenosis. Almost all the ones I've had have really liked it.
Right,
it really makes a difference.
Now, the other thing you want to do is not just stretch the low back, but strengthen the abdominal muscles. So in this position, you can do the same thing. Now, some people might have problems that the goal is to get both knees to come up at the same time while keeping your back flat. So you're going to push the back down, hold it down, and lift the knees up. But if you have a weak, you know, if you're just starting, your muscles may not be strong enough, so you may want to push down and do one knee at a time, and then the opposite knee, keeping that back flat. My stomach right now is tight, holding that back down. And when you can do 10 of those and it's getting easier, then you can start, and you can help with your hands a little bit if you'd like to, but do the best you can, good control, flat back.
And now this should be pain-free. Let's, you know, I mean, this shouldn't be increasing your pain. If it is, then it's something you can't do right now. But again, just to point out again, if I were to put my hand underneath here, Brad would actually squish the hand. So he's turning his pelvis so that it flattens the back out.
Right. You know, if you put I don't know, if you think about putting an egg in there and you're going to try and break that egg with your back.
Yeah, that would do it.
Just a little visual.
Right. I'll bring an egg next time, Brad, and we'll do that.
Okay, should we go on to the next one?
Let's go on to the next one.
Okay. So this is the posterior pelvic tilt, and you can do this one against the wall. And actually this is...
I'm going to show this on the spine real quick, Brad.
Okay, good.
So, you know, this guy's facing the same way I'm facing. Here's an anterior tilt. He's taking and he's actually turning the ilium here of the pelvis and going forward like this. This is a posterior tilt. He's actually turning it this way. So I hope that helps visually. If you go like this, that's a posterior tilt. So I'm going back like this.
Right. So actually, this is very similar. It is exactly the same thing what we talked about with the double knee to the chest.
Right.
Except for we're not going to bring the knees to the chest. And you can do this one up against the wall as well.
You got me too, Lonnie? So I got my feet out maybe a foot away from the wall. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm doing the posterior tilt.
All right. So just like what I'm doing here, Bob's doing on the wall. So you can do this one standing or laying down.
Can you catch both of us, Lonnie? Wow, she's good.
All right. So we're going to push in, Bob, at the same time. So we got synchronized pelvic tilting, and then relax.
And relax.
And again, now the nice thing about going on the wall is you can put yourself in that posterior pelvic tilt and try and hold it there, and then
walk away. Yeah.
Walk with that same position. That's going to take the pressure off the nerves, and you're going to be able to walk further that way.
That's the whole thing, is that you're trying to take this from an exercise to something that you can do throughout the day.
Precisely.
So if you're walking and you're having pain, you might try a little bit of a posterior tilt and see if that relieves some of your pain.
Right. And that's why I think doing on the wall is it's a good progression from here to the wall.
You're right. It's a lot
to walking.
It's harder probably to do maybe with your weight bearing, you know, like this. But then you're one step closer to doing it in real life. So I feel good about it.
Good. You feel good? I feel good. We all feel good. But the next one is neural stretching. And this one you can do laying down or in a chair. So Bob's going to demonstrate how to do it in the chair.
I really like this one, Brad, because I've seen different ways to do this, and this was the best explanation or best demonstration I've seen of this one.
Really?
Yeah, I just
Wow.
think it's...
Say no more.
I always have struggle showing people how to do this, and this was a better way to do it.
So what you can do...
Why don't you do it first?
Okay. So I'm going to do my right leg first. You do one leg at a time. The knee has to be straight. Don't have it like this. Straighten it out the best you can. Hold it, and then you're going to lift it up, and you can use your hands to help. Once you start to feel a stretch in the back of your leg, then you're going to pull your ankle up towards your nose, and you'll feel more of a stretch in the back of the leg, and you may even feel it way up in your back here.
Sure.
And if you do feel it here, then you know you definitely need this stretch. So you're going to go pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off. And Bob's going to do the same thing.
Yep.
You can do it in the chair.
So that's all the higher I can get. Well, maybe I go a little higher. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm holding my leg up,
Yep.
and I'm doing the pressure on, pressure off, pressure on, pressure off.
Now, if you wanted to do that one, if you can't hold your leg up, you probably could put it up on a stool, couldn't you, Bob?
Sure.
There you go.
It should be a little higher yet. I probably have to put a pillow underneath it
Sure.
to get the
Yep.
stretch.
Right.
So do it at the same time, Brad, just so
Okay.
that we can have a contrast here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
people can.
Oh, yeah.
There we
We
go.
want to make sure we have that.
I'm going to take it out one
Good
more
visual.
time here. There we go. Yep. Excellent.
Because the nerve that goes all the way down around your ankle is the one that can get impinged up in your back, causing the stenosis problems. Okay, now the next one. Bob, you got a pillow handy?
I'm going to grab a pillow.
Okay, because this stretch, we want to stretch out the hip flexors because they pull that lumbar spine and make the stenosis worse.
Yeah,
so,
the muscle comes all the way up and attaches to the spine itself, so, and plus down into the legs, so we're going to stretch that so it doesn't pull you down.
So if you do it on your side, I'm going to do my left leg. The leg on top is the one you're going to do. Your bottom leg is going to bend like this, okay? All right, I'm looking at the camera, Bob.
Sure. Am I in your way?
Oh, no, I just wanted to make sure, though. Okay, hand is here, and now what I'm going to do is just pull my knee back this direction, and you'll feel that stretch in that where you put your hand in your pocket. Then you know you're getting a good stretch. You're just going to go pressure on, pressure off, pressure on. And if you like to hold it for longer duration, you can do that as well. I personally like to go pressure on, pressure off. Bob, you want to show them how it's done on the
I'm doing it on
floor?
the right leg here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stretch by go ahead and leaning forward like this.
There you go.
Now you can actually stretch this a little bit more, Brad, by going like this.
Oh, sure.
And a little bit of side bending, it actually stretches that hip flexor a little bit more. But I'm cutting away from Brad's camera time. But you can, again, same thing here. You can stretch with good posture like this. You can actually stretch like this too.
Sure.
There's the two different ways, variations of doing this. And of course, you're going to want to even things out by getting the other one too. So now I'm stretching the left leg and I'm leaning forward. I can also lean this way and stretch it a little bit more, and there you go.
Sure. So you can stretch, you don't have to do both of them. You do which one is most comfortable for you. Some people may not be able to do this one depending on their knees or their...
Some people may have trouble with that one too because
Right.
it's tough to get a hold of that leg,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So there's two options. If it doesn't work for you, don't, it's not the worst thing in the world. The other ones are going to help. 6-inch roll, Bob.
This is another one I like. This
Yeah.
is another one I had not seen before. Your mic's falling out there, Brett.
Oh, my goodness.
But I thought this was a great idea.
You could use a towel roll if you get a towel thick enough. It has to be about a 6-inch roll like this is. But you're going to put it here, not above your belt line, but below your belt line on your sacrum, the lower part of your sacrum, close to your tailbone.
Yep, so we're right there.
Yeah, right? And the old
Okay.
buttocks.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going to go there, and then you're just going to take one knee and pull it up. And when you do that, you're going to feel your back get stretched in the direction we want. And it should feel good. When you do this, it should be like a good stretch. It's going to take pressure off those nerves. And then here. Now, I got a vinyl surface here, so my roll is slipping. If it was on a carpeted floor, I'd be a little bit better off.
Oh yeah, I see it is slipping on
Yep, it is. you know, and I can even go both knees, and that feels good, and it gets a good stretch. So you have to work this on your own, whichever works best for you. Again, 10 repetitions of the pressure on, pressure off would be a good way to go about it. Okay.
Oh, sliding out.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, if
and
you
again,
on carpet it wouldn't do
yeah,
that.
this is a slippery surface.
Yeah.
Here, so
And then the last one, Bob, associated with lumbar stenosis is poor posture because you're leaning forward from the top forward to compensate. So we want to stretch the shoulders out, and we're just going to do the angel one because it's simple to do.
we don't want you to develop problems up here because you have problems in your back. Because you're going to be like this a lot. You want to stretch this out so you keep in good posture in the upper body. So I'm going to go ahead, you know, this always works out real well. My feet are about a foot away from the wall. I push my shoulders and hands and arms against the wall, and I'm going to go, I can even go up and down like this. And I'm trying to keep good posture, my neck against the wall. And I can tell I need to do this stretch, Brad. I do it, but I just can't stay ahead of it, you know. And I mean, this is a good stretch to do right now for me.
And you can do it standing or laying down, whichever is more comfortable for you, or you can do both of them. So what say you, Bob?
I say, if you, by the way, we can fix just about anything.
Except for that.
Broken heart.
Yeah, but stenosis, we got a good handle on
It's
that.
the new year, Brad. We got to fix that heart.
Yeah, we had a comment on that. They were optimistic too.
No, it's good to hear.